So today was a little bit hard going. I attended my nan's burial of her ashes today. Unfortunately, as per usual, I was late, which unfortunately my nan was used to. I'd always say to her that I would turn up at like 2 o'clock and then be there at like past. By then she'll have made me like a cup of tea that was always cold. I'd never asked for a cup of tea, but she'd always make me one anyway. So I guess she was kind of used to me being late today. I got to say my goodbyes to an extent, but I wanted to process this in my own way. And my granddad was a very big part of my inspiration for being a writer. He was a very devout Christian. So obviously horror was not something that he was a big fan of, but he was still happy that I was writing. And that's all he wanted for me. Same with my nan. My nan was a big fan of supporting me through my writing. In fact, the reason that I have recently been able to get a lot of things on the ball recently is because of my nan and the support she gave me. It still goes on into my life now, even long after she's passed. My way of processing is by remembering them the way I want to remember them. I have my photo collection, I have their wedding photo, the letters that they sent one another. I say one another, it was mainly my nan who sent letters to my granddad while he was in the army. She'd send them to the base, date stamped, everything was practically every 2 weeks she would send him, and he still kept the bundle even long after he passed. We found it stuffed up in one of his boxes. He kept every letter my nan ever sent. So writing was a big part of his life. And obviously, looking at what my nan wrote, she felt more comfortable writing how she felt as well. So it must be a Whiston thing. Anyway, I wanted to share with you something very personal to me, which stays very much in the house. Wherever I go, this goes with me. When he passed, we had it published into the pamphlet for the funeral, and it was my granddad's published poem, and I still to this day can't get the actual book that he was published in, but I still my dad managed to find the copy of it that was on my granddad's old laptop. And luckily that's how I've managed to get this poem back. But otherwise I still can't seem to find the book that he's actually a part of, the poetry book. So, but one day I will find it. So I wanted to share with you a piece of me, and somebody who inspired me to write and inspired me to be so... I'm not great with words at best of time, but the reason that I find it easier to spill my emotions into my poetry is because of how I was brought up through my granddad. He was very much a poet, so I wanted to share with you the poem that he wrote, which is called Memories Linger. So, if I go a bit in between, just bear with me, because, yeah. So, Memories Linger by Reginald Whiston. We met, we married a long time ago. Worked for long hours, wages were low. No telly, no radio, no bath, times were hard. Just cold water tap and a walk up the yard. No holidays abroad, no carpets on the floor. Had coal on the fire, and we never locked the door. Our children arrived, no pill in those days. We bought them up without state aid. No Valium, no drugs, no LSD. We cured our pains with a good cup of tea. If you were sick, you were treated at once. Not fill in a form and come back in 6 months. No vandals, no muggings, there were nought to rob. In fact, we were rich with a couple of bob. People were happier in those far-off days, kinder and caring in so many ways. Milkmen and paperboys whistled and sing. A night at the flicks was our mad fling. Oh, we all had our share of trouble and strife, but we just had to face it, that's life. But now we are old and look back through the years. We don't think of the bad times, the troubles and the tears. We remember the blessings, our home and our love. We shared them together and we thank God above. Yeah, it's a nice little look into my granddad's past as well. But I just wanted to thanks for listening to me again, and don't take your loved ones for granted, because it's when they're gone that you realise how much you really regret.